Hi, my name's Sarah, and I'm an ambulatory care pharmacist who's passionate about helping people get healthy not only through medications, but also their lifestyle. Today, we're going to explore how grocery shopping plays a crucial role in your weight loss journey. In this session, we'll look at practical tips for navigating the grocery store, how to choose healthy options, and how to stay on a budget while making choices that are both nourishing and enjoyable. First, I just want to talk about some of the benefits of grocery shopping. First, you have full control over ingredients and portions. You can choose fresh, whole ingredients, limited added sugars, unhealthy fats, and salt, and you can really focus on balanced meals that support your health goals. Eating out at a restaurant, for example, it's much harder to control these factors. Often the meals are really high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and the portion sizes are much larger than what you might need for a healthy meal. Next, while eating out may seem convenient, it can really add up as far as spending a lot of money on these meals, especially if you dine out frequently. By grocery shopping and cooking at home, you'll actually save money in the long run. You can buy staple items like grains, proteins, and vegetables in bulk, which can last for several meals, making it a more cost-effective option. Plus, you have the ability to prepare meals in larger quantities so that you can eat healthy for a fraction of the cost compared to eating out. Another benefit of grocery shopping is that it actually avoids hidden calories. A huge challenge when you eat out is the temptation to indulge in higher calorie options like desserts, sugary drinks, or large portions or fried foods. Many restaurants are loaded with hidden calories from sauces, dressings, or cooking methods like deep frying. And when you shop for ingredients yourself, you can actually create healthier alternatives to the restaurant style meals, ensuring that they fit into your calorie goals. And then finally, we have a benefit of meal planning by grocery shopping. So really, grocery shopping allows you to plan ahead. You can prepare meals in advance, making it easier to stick to your nutrition goals throughout the week. This helps you avoid last-minute decisions that might lead you to pick an unhealthy takeout option when you're busy or tired, for example. Meal prepping also supports consistent portion control, which is really crucial for weight loss. Before we jump into shopping tips, let's just review the basics of a healthy diet. When we talk about weight loss, it's important to focus on healthy, nutrient-dense foods that will actually nourish our bodies. So the first rule of thumb is to really choose whole, nutrient-dense foods. So we want to focus on foods that are minimally processed, such as fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. These foods are rich in essential nutrients, which support our energy levels, muscles, and our overall health. The next rule of thumb is really choosing a meal that can balance out the different macronutrients that are essential to our health. So a balanced meal should really include a good mix of protein, healthy fats, fiber, and carbohydrates. Protein helps build and repair muscles, while fiber promotes satiety, so you feel fuller for longer. And it also promotes healthy digestion and can help stabilize blood sugar levels. Healthy fats, like those found in avocados, nuts, and olive oil, those can help you feel full and support nutrient absorption. And then finally, we have the rule of portion control. So even healthy foods can contribute to weight gain if we overeat them. So really learning to recognize proper portion sizes and eating mindfully will help you to achieve your weight loss goals. By focusing on these basics, we can make healthier, more informed decisions while grocery shopping, making weight loss easier and hopefully more sustainable. When you walk into a grocery store, it can be overwhelming with so many options, but the layout of the store can actually guide us to the healthiest choices. The key is to focus on the perimeter of the store where the fresh food is typically found. So we love starting with the outer aisles of the store. These are the areas where the fresh produce, dairy, meats, and seafood are located. And this is where you're going to find the most nutrient-dense foods like fresh vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains, like I mentioned in my last slide. The inner aisles typically contain more processed packaged foods, and these can be higher in sodium, unhealthy fats, sugars, and preservatives. While there are certainly healthy options in these aisles, like canned beans or frozen vegetables, it's important to be selective. So ideally, we're looking for the low sodium canned beans. Other healthy options within the inner aisles include nuts and seeds, healthy oils like olive oils, and then sometimes you'll find the frozen fruits and vegetables here. For the products in the inner aisles, just make sure to check the food labels for added sugars, sodium, and the unhealthy fats. We're really looking for products with fewer ingredients and always aiming for more whole foods over the processed options. But by sticking to the outer aisles, you're more likely to pick up the whole, nutritious foods that will really support your weight loss journey. Let's dive a little deeper into what foods we might find in our outer aisles and which ones might be best to stock up on. So, first we have our vegetables, and fresh vegetables should really be the bulk of your cart. They're low in calories, high in fiber, and packed with vitamins and minerals. Some of the more nutrient-dense vegetables include things like leafy greens, so spinach, kale, romaine lettuce, or arugula, things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and your colorful peppers. Ideally here, we would want to limit more of the starchy vegetables that can turn into blood sugar in our body. So that would be, trying to limit potatoes and corn, for example, and really focusing on the other vegetables that we have available. Next we have is fruits. So fresh fruits are a delicious and nutritious way to satisfy your sweet tooth without turning to sugary processed snacks. So berries, apples, citrus fruits, and melons are great options that also provide fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins. Ideally, we'd want to avoid dried or candied fruit, fruit juice, and then fruit in syrups because they often have added sugar. And then I often hear people say that fresh produce is too expensive or they can't eat fruits or vegetables before they end up going bad. So a good budget tip is to buy it in season produce, which tends to be cheaper and fresher. And then also to keep a longer shelf life, you can purchase frozen fruits and vegetables, which are often just as nutritious as the fresh produce. Just be careful that the food label indicates that there's no added sugars or salt. As I mentioned before, protein is an essential part of any balanced meal, and it plays a critical role in weight loss by helping you build muscle and keep you full longer. So let's look at some healthy protein sources at the grocery store. First, we have your lean meats. Chicken breast, turkey, lean cuts of beef, and pork are all great options for lean protein. These meats are lower in fat and calories compared to some fattier options like ribs or sausages. Next, we have fish, which is an excellent source of protein and healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon, tuna, and cod are all good choices. If fresh fish is out of your budget, you can do frozen or canned fish as a reasonable option. And if you're choosing something like canned tuna, for example, we just want to make sure it's in water and not in oil to help reduce unneeded calories. If you prefer plant-based proteins over meats, there are options like lentils, beans, chickpeas, tofu, and tempeh, which are all excellent options. They're also high in fiber and can help stabilize your blood sugar levels while keeping you full. And next we have eggs, which are an affordable, versatile, and high-quality source of protein. They contain many amino acids, and they're low in calories, which makes them perfect for a weight loss diet. Eggs can be used in a variety of ways, so boiled, scrambled, in an omelet, or added to baked dishes. And then for those who might be concerned about cholesterol, choosing egg whites or a mix of whole eggs and egg whites can help to reduce that cholesterol content. Finally, we've got dairy, And low-fat or fat-free dairy products such as Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and milk are all rich in protein and calcium to help with the bones. And then for some budget tips, like I mentioned, we can do the canned fish or frozen fish to have a longer shelf life, and they may be less expensive. And then also another source of protein are nuts. So low sodium peanuts, cashews, peanut butter all tend to be lower cost protein options. So by incorporating a variety of protein sources into your meals, it'll help keep you satisfied while supporting muscle health and working towards your weight loss goals. Similar to protein, healthy fats also play a significant role in keeping us full and satisfied. There are also some studies that have shown that healthy fats can improve heart health and brain function too. Some examples of healthy fats include avocados, olive oil, nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios, seeds like chia seeds or flax seeds, and fatty fish like salmon are great sources of healthy fats. I've added stars next to the products that also contain high amounts of fiber, which is important for gut health and regulating appetite. Moderation is key with the healthy fats though. They are calorie dense, so it's important to consume these in moderation. One budget tip or a couple budget tips for healthy fats. First, you can buy nuts in bulk or seeds in bulk. You can also get frozen avocados or freeze them to help keep them lasting longer. And then finally, for cooking, olive oil is a really versatile and healthy option and generally inexpensive. Okay, now let's talk about healthy grains. So whole grains are a great source of fiber, which like I mentioned, helps with digestion, keeps you full, and helps to stabilize the blood sugar. Whole grains include brown rice, quinoa, oats, and whole wheat bread, whole grain pasta, and they're packed with that fiber and other nutrients. When possible, try to choose whole grains over refined grains. So really looking at this left-hand column here. Refined grains, which are shown on the right side of the screen here, include things like enriched wheat flour, which are found in a lot of cereals, white breads, white pasta, white rice, and instant oatmeal. These are typically stripped of their fiber in the processing process, and they're also stripped of their nutrients, so they don't offer as many health benefits compared to the whole grains. One budget tip with whole grains is that you can buy grains in bulk, such as brown rice, rolled oats, and quinoa. And buying in bulk, usually you get more bang for your buck. They also last pretty long and can be used in a variety of meals. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about different snacks and treats to look for in the grocery store. When thinking about snacks or treats, it's important to choose options that keep you satisfied without adding too much sugar or empty calories. So here are some great examples that you might find. First, we have unsweetened or low sugar Greek yogurt with fruit. Greek yogurt is high in protein and it helps you stay full for longer. It also can be kept in the fridge for quite a long period of time without going bad. Look for brands with less than 3 grams of added sugar per serving if you can. And then you can sweeten it naturally with fresh berries or maybe a drizzle of honey if you just want a little bit of an extra flavor. Next we have veggie sticks, for example, with hummus. You can also have like celery with peanut butter. These combos give you fiber from the veggies and then also healthy fats plus protein from hummus or peanut butter. You can also buy pre-cut veggie packs for your convenience or prep at your own home to save money. Homemade smoothies are another option for a healthy snack, but it's important to control what goes in them. You can use a base like unsweetened almond milk or plain Greek yogurt, and then add the fruit for sweetness, and then consider a handful of spinach or chia seeds for extra nutrients. You could also add low sugar substitutes like monk fruit extract or stevia, for example, to sweeten up that smoothie. Next, we have unsweetened applesauce, which is a simple portion-controlled sweet that can kind of satisfy sugar cravings without the added sugars that are found in many desserts. Just make sure you check the label for a sentence that says no added sugar. Next, we have air popped popcorn, which is a favorite because it's high in volume but lower in calories. So it's a great way to satisfy that crunchy, salty craving, but just skip the heavy butter and go for light seasoning instead. And then finally on here, I've added roasted nuts, which are a great source of healthy fats and protein. Just again, watch the portion sizes as they're pretty dense in calories. So just do a small handful, about a fourth of a cup is perfect. The key with all of these is balance. So you really want to pair protein, fiber, and healthy fats for these snacks to keep you full and energized between meals. And again, this all supports weight loss management. Now I'd like to summarize some grocery shopping tips that can help with your budget. So first, plan meals ahead if you can. Create a grocery list and stick to it. This helps prevent impulse buys and food waste. Next, I'd recommend buying in bulk when you can, especially shelf-stable options like grains, beans, frozen vegetables, and proteins. They're much cheaper when purchased in larger quantities, and they last a really long time. Frozen fruits and veggies are great because they're just as nutritious and fresh and don't spoil as quickly as the fresh vegetables and fruits. Another great tip is to choose store brands. So they're often just as nutritious as name brands but cost less. You can compare the nutrition labels side by side just to make sure you're getting a similar product. Next, take advantage of coupons and sales. Look for weekly ads or discounts on healthy foods like whole grains, lean proteins, and produce. And many stores might even have digital coupons you can clip right from your phone. And then finally, you can try to avoid prepackaged meals when possible. They're often more expensive and higher in sodium than preservatives. Preparing meals at home with fresh ingredients usually costs less per serving and lets you control what goes into your food. These small changes can make a big difference both for your wallet and your health. As we finish up today, I just want to leave you with a few key takeaways. First, healthy grocery shopping is an essential part of a sustainable weight loss journey. The choices you make at the store will set the tone for how you'll eat throughout the week, so think of your cart as the first step towards your goals. Second, focus on nutrient-dense whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. These foods will help you feel full for longer, support your energy levels, and make your progress much easier to maintain over time. And finally, remember that eating healthy doesn't have to be expensive. With the right strategies like meal planning, buying in bulk, and choosing store brands, you can stay on budget while still fueling your body in a healthy way. These small, consistent choices at the grocery store can make a big difference in your long-term health and success. Thank you so much for watching my presentation today, and I hope you learned some helpful tools. Here are my references that I used, and good luck with your weight loss journey.